Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the Rise podcast, where we dive deep into all things fifth dimensional, helping others heal body, mind, and soul. If you're ready to reconnect to who you truly are, step into your power, and find ways to set your soul on fire, well then, you've come to the right place. I'm your host, Jen, Fearless Leader at Rise University, also known as the Empire Heyoke, a quantum shaman, Lemurian priestess of the New Earth, and Empire Builder. My mission is to help other visionary starseeds and lightworkers, New Earth builders, and trailblazers gain clarity on their purpose, fully activate into their power, and live in divine prosperity by claiming the empire within. Each week, we dive deep to help you find ways to unleash your inner magic, quantum jump your awakening, break through limitation, transcend to the fifth dimension, ways to create the life you want and heal. Together, we can make a massive impact on the world, and it is time we rise. Rainbow Warriors, initiation into service and evolution. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Awakening Hour podcast with the Empire Heyoke, Jen. If you are ready to ignite your soul and take the entrepreneurial world by storm, well, guess what? You are in the right place. Today is February 8th, 2023, and we are on episode 2 of season 3. And this week we're going to be diving into the hero's journey for the soulpreneur and overcoming limitations and achieving success. And let me tell you guys, we have one hell of an episode coming to you. When I came into 2023, I really wanted to get organized with what I wanted to bring through in this podcast and within my shows. So I've been taking notes behind the scenes, and this is like take 3 on recording this episode because it's a long one. So definitely when you're starting out listening to this, make sure that you are bringing a note and piece of paper, because I've got lots of notes. And the previous recordings, I had some resistance from the matrix, so I know that it's going to be bringing a lot of transformational information to help you on your journey. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of tea, cacao, whatever it is that you're drinking, and bring a piece of paper and a pen. Be present, shut everything out on the outside world, and really pay attention, because I got a lot of really transformational information coming to you within this episode. So if you're ready to really dive into your soul's evolution, new earth building, and personal development, get ready. Here we go. All right. Today, we're going to be really exploring the journey of the soulpreneur and the challenges they face in building their empire. And what really prompted this episode, and if you are following me on my Instagram, Rise University at Rise University, I've been posting a little bit about the soulpreneur's hero's journey and what that entails, because I just came out of my phase, and I realized I had this epiphany moment. I even remember when it happening, that, oh, holy shit, this is true. And the hero's journey really is the symbol, if you know what the unalome symbol, I think I pronounced that correctly. Please don't get hung up on my pronunciations, guys. I am Southern sometimes, and my twang comes through, and I mispronounce the way that words are supposed to, but I do feel like it is the unalome symbol, which is the spiral that, it's like the spiral that comes in and the intertwines, and then the path gets straighter. Okay, that is the path to enlightenment. That is the hero's journey. All right, so I'm a firm believer, what I have recognized over 5 years of doing this, building my online empire, packaging my services, stepping into a leadership role. It is the hero's journey. It is part of my spiritual awakening, and many light warriors out there are on this journey. Not all of us. Every light warrior has their own purpose, but this Rise University and this podcast is really focused on those who are here to create a empire, to create a business, to help other light warriors really step into their missions and in their roles of why they came. So this episode, we're really going to dive in and unpack what the hero's journey is, steps to overcome limiting beliefs, what limiting beliefs are, imposter syndrome, the money blocks, and dealing with the worthiness that all comes in with, that gets triggered inside of you when you are building your business, your empire, okay? And I'm going to use some 3D terminology. That way I can just break it down in simple terms for you to really understand what it is that I am talking about. So if you are ready, I'm going to provide you with practical tips and insights on what it does take to succeed as a soulpreneur. And I'm going to offer you a roadmap for those who are looking to achieve their goals and build a successful empire. So before we dive into all this information, and believe me, it is a lot of information coming to you guys, I want to talk about this episode being sponsored. And who is it sponsored by? Well, it is sponsored by my business that I created, which is Rise University. Not university, but the Innerversity. And this episode is brought to you by Rise. And what Rise is your go-to source for everything you need to thrive as a soulpreneur. Rise University understands the unique challenges and opportunities that come along with building an empire. And it helps you align with your values, your core message, and serves a higher purpose, which is why I created this comprehensive suite of resources and tools, not just tools, but ways to help you embody what you need as a light warrior to help you succeed. It has workshops, webinars, a mentorship program, and community building with other light warriors who are doing the same. So you're not alone on this journey. Rise University has everything that you need to awaken your inner warrior and build an empire with a lasting legacy. So, if you are looking for the support and guidance that you need to turn your soulpreneur dreams into a reality, make sure that you definitely check out Rise University today. And you can do that by going to www.riseinnerversity, INNERVERSITY.com. The whole website is www.riseinnerversity.com. That's a mouthful. And also make sure that you head on over to the Instagram page and follow at Rise University as well. The doors will officially be opening early for the spring season on February 20th. Now, Rise University really wants you to get in sync with the natural cycles of life. So the programs that are inside of the Innerversity that will include a low monthly subscription or enrollment fee, basically tuition, whatever it is you want to call it, but there will be a low monthly fee, and each season is going to open up a set of courses to really help you embody what that season is bringing. And we will also include upgrades to accelerator programs. There's going to be 2 big accelerator programs twice a year. One is we're going to start off in the spring, which the doors will open for that We're going to start kicking off that accelerator program March 20th, I believe is what it is. And that is the evolution side. So a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about today are what's going to really come up inside of you when you are going through this hero's journey and building your online empire. And there's a service side to it, the accelerator, because they both go hand in hand. And after spending thousands of dollars of learning how to build my, through mentorships and everything like that, I started to notice that there were a lot of coaches out there that just barely touch the surface on the personal and spiritual development side of the thing. They'll talk about all the business stuff, like, the techie stuff, the copywriting, how to position yourself as an authority, all the stuff that you need to, the fundamental tools that you need to building the business, but they kind of touch on the personal and spiritual development, where through my hero's journey, through everything that I'm giving you today, it's important that we both discuss both of them. And if you don't have if you're not embodying the different ways, I want to get out of the form of saying tools, guys, because Rise University doesn't give you tools. It is a way of life. When you start to embody the things that you are learning, you'll be able to overcome these obstacles that we're going to go over today in today's podcast easier. It's going to help you navigate the waters, the hurricane, the storm that you're going to be going through, or you may currently be going through, easier than, a tool you put in your toolbox and you can pick it up or take it away. You can use it whenever you want. You either take it out of the toolbox or you put it back in the toolbox whenever you don't need it. I don't want to give you that. I want you to embody this, because when you embody it, it becomes a way of life. So, with that said, that was a mouthful. We're going to go over all of the tools and stuff today, but the first round, Rise, is Rainbow Warriors Initiation into Service and Evolution. The Evolution Accelerator will be opening in March, and stay tuned for more detailed information about that. That will be a 13-week long, 3 months, over 90 days, 13-week month accelerator program to really help you break free from a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about today. But either way, if that's not in alignment with you, definitely check out the university, because it's going to offer you so much more. It covers personal, business, and spiritual development. And you can go check out the website and the Instagram page for more information. And if you want, I would love to, if you really want to more information, you want to talk to me about it, I would love to really talk to you. Definitely send me a DM or book a free clarity call, and let's get down to it, because you may not be the right in alignment with you, okay? And that's quite all right. That's why I really want to, when I open up the doors to the accelerator programs, there will be an interview process, because I want to make sure that both of us are in alignment. With that said, that's the sponsorship announcement. I'm so super excited about Rise University all coming together, because it has been one fucking journey, guys, to get to exactly where I am right now. And that is what prompted this podcast today. So, diving into this podcast, what we're going to be discussing, which is the hero's journey for the soulpreneur, overcoming limitations and achieving success. Topics that we're going to talk about are understanding the soulpreneur's hero's journey, overcoming those limiting beliefs, what the hell is imposter syndrome, the money blocks that you will encounter or may encounter. I don't know if everybody out there is going to be encountering it, but if you resonate with what I say, you probably will. Dealing with the worthiness, the importance of mentorship, and I'm going to give you steps to success. So again, lots of information coming to you. make sure you have that pen and paper handy and ready to go. So let's touch on the understanding what the hell a hero's journey is and how I can hopefully bring to your awareness, because I want to bring it to your awareness that if you are a light warrior and you've had an awakening and you feel like you have a greater purpose and something inside of your soul is telling you that you need to help create a new earth or build a lasting legacy or whatever it is that you want to call, guess what, guys? You are on the hero's journey. And the hero's journey can be found in many different classical tales and myths through different cultures, okay? This is not something that I have created. This is something that everyone, when they start, they have that awakening, whether it's even business building or not. Like I said before, the unalom symbol is the path to enlightenment. And if you are a light warrior who is here to build business and you're on this path, well, that is your form of what you're going through in the hero's journey. So ultimately, it refers to a journey of a hero who sets out an adventure to complete a quest or fulfill a destiny. The hero, which is you in the story, will face various challenges and obstacles along the way, and it is your job as your character in this matrix that we are going through, busting out of the matrix. It's your job to overcome those challenges, to, the obstacles start getting easier and easier, and ultimately you're going to emerge as being victorious, okay? You're going to grow, you're going to transform as a person, and all the stuff that you have learned through the journey you're going to embody it, and we're going to go through the different stages here in a moment, and I'll touch on that one. When you embody it, you're going to start to see things in a different level, okay? You hear a lot of soulpreneurs or entrepreneurs or online coaches talk about it, how they took this course, took that course, and they invested all this money, and then they had a breakdown, they couldn't figure it out, and then they locked themselves in a room, and then they one day had an epiphany and they put it all together, and then boom, there's their coaching program. Well, guess the fuck what? That's true. I just went through it. I completely understand it after struggling for so long on how does this fit in and how do I package my services and what it is I'm here to do and who am I here to serve, and all of the questions that are coming up inside of you, which is it's normal, guys. It is normal. Every single soulpreneur and online coach experiences that on some level. All right, you're not alone. So if you are experiencing these things, then pat yourself on the back. I'm sending you so much love because I completely understand what it is that you are going through. But going back to what is the hero's journey? The hero's journey is the universal archetype, which would be you, that can be applied to real life experiences, okay? And that being included of the soulpreneur and building their empire, really building an online, it doesn't even have to be online, but building a business altogether. So what are the stages of the hero's journey? Number one, it's the call to adventure. This is where you have that awakening. This is where your soul starts talking to you and you hear the call that really, you know you're here for a greater purpose. You know that you're here to step into a higher version of yourself. You're here to help humanity build a new earth. And you just, mine was a divine experience, and right after that I knew that I was here to step into a greater version. I knew I was going to build a school in one way, shape, or form. I just didn't know how the hell that was going to turn out. And that comes to the second part, which is the refusal of the call. And that's where I really got stuck, and I had all this fear come up inside of me. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't quite understand the messages that were coming from inside out of me, telling me that I had to, not telling me, but it was this magnetic pull to start really diving and testing the waters and building an online business. For me, it was becoming an online coach or stepping into a mentorship. Now, I'm head mistress at Rise University, and I do offer a lot of programs when it comes to that, but at the beginning of my journey, I didn't know what all that entails. And for a little bit, I started to refuse the call. And that's phase 2, is refusing the call. And that's where, you will work through overcoming your fears and your limiting beliefs and your doubts and start to embark on this journey of creating your empire. And when you start to do that, that's where all these mentors start popping up, okay? And that is phase 3, which is meeting with a mentor. And you'll have several mentors. And if you resonate with what I say, and, I'm your mentor, that's great. If you don't resonate with what I say, find a mentor. You'll find your guru will pop up in your life at the certain phase that you're at to help you get to the next hurdle. And that is part of the hero's journey. So it won't just be one mentor. You may have several like I did, but either way, this is the part of the journey where the hero meets the wise and experienced mentor, someone who is normally 3 years ahead of where you're at right now, what you want to embody at that time. And they will provide the guidance and support that you need to get to the next level of the journey. Now, the next phase is crossing the threshold, which this is where the hero will embark on their journey and start to leave their comfort zone. So when my first mentor, when I invested in her, I was like, yes, I'm going to invest in this mentor. She's going to show me how to do it. Well, she showed me how to do it. But as soon as I started crossing that threshold, the next phase kicked in, which is where a lot of us get stuck, where a lot of us may currently be at. And that is the trials and the test period. Okay. This is where everything inside of you starts to get triggered. The limiting beliefs, the imposter syndrome, the money blocks, the dealing of worthiness, really the people pleasing, all the shadow work that really needs to come up to the surface for us to get to the next level comes up in the trials and the test. And this is where the hero faces a series of challenges along the way, which help them grow and develop. Now, I view everything as a test, and when I see the test coming or whatever is in my etheric field or whatever I'm going through, the challenges and the things that are happening within my life, I stop and I ask myself a series of questions, and that is, what was going through my mind? How did I create that? How did I do? Did I pass today's test? Was I living from joy and happiness? Did I face my challenges with confidence and honesty, or did I blame some outside circumstance? Did I celebrate my achievements, or did I beat myself up for not being where I think I should be? How much fun did I have, and how much money did I make? That last one applies to the business, but you can ask yourself these questions with anything that is happening in your life. And when you do, it's a game changer. And I'm going to talk about later on when we get into the limiting beliefs and overcoming these things. This is a great habit of getting into, okay? It falls in the awareness category, and we'll talk about that later in the podcast, okay? So you will go through a trial and test period, and if you are not if you don't have or you haven't learned the tools that you need to embody to help overcome, then you may be stuck in this trial and test period for a little bit. And I know I was, okay? Please know you are exactly where you need to be at this very moment. So don't get caught into comparison or judging. Believe me, you are exactly where you need to be at this moment. But the trials and tests, I do see a lot of online coaches that are not helping their students or the people that go through them with this period. So you can get stuck in this period, and if you don't overcome the test, then it's very hard for you to get to the next phase, which is the atonement. And this is where the hero faces their final challenge and experiences a transformation. Now, I had my atonement at the ending of last year, and I can remember the moment that it happened. And it was a massive, massive, massive test for me, guys. It really was. It was a massive test. And ultimately, it brought up a lot of things that I had been working on. It brought up some stuff that has to do around my sobriety. And I do not ever want to go back down that road. And when it did come up, I was like, oh no, fuck that. You can just fuck off with all of that. I don't want to go down that road. I've done way too much work to get to where I am today. And it really brought me down to my knees on like what it is that I want. And the trial and test period can be really hard and struggling, because you're going to hit roadblocks. You're going to hit, you're going to experience burnout, throwing your hands up in the air. This is where the entrepreneur locks themselves in a room and is like, fuck it, I just don't know anything. And, I'm going to give up, and, I don't want to do this. I'm burned out. I'm not good enough, But if you don't have the tools that we're going to talk about today, the suggestions, the things to embody, this is where you can get struggled or get stuck in that period. And that's what I didn't happen. You're going to have that atonement. Believe me, you're going to have that atonement. And when you do and you pass it, it's like everything comes into your etheric field and starts to embody, and it's download after download after download, and you can just make sense of it all, because the universe wants you to be ready for you to really step into your mission. You're here for a freaking mission, guys. It's not fucking easy. It's not an easy journey. And if you are a light warrior, if you are someone that really resonates with what I say, you are coming from a childhood that has a lot of traumas in it. And we're going to talk more about this later on, but because of that, you've got to break through that. So with the atonement, right after that comes the return. And that's where you really start to show up to your tribe. This is where you know that you have all the, you know how to do it. You've experienced it. And I talk about personal experience, okay? Through my human design, I am a 5/1, and I'm also a manifester. And the one in my profile it investigates, okay? So because I'm a manifester, I am going to impact you. I am designed to take the lead. And I know that about my energy. I don't want to lead anybody down. I'm not regurgitating shit. I want to talk from personal experience. I am really big in integrity, and I don't want to because I have struggled with the imposter syndrome that we're going to talk about. I come from knowing from personal experience. So everything that I am talking to you about is downloaded information. It's channeled information, guys. So coming through after my atonement, I'm coming into my return, which is achieving my goal. And it's like a transformation through awareness, and we'll talk about that too, through awareness that has allowed me to become a more wiser and stronger person. So I'm literally just 3 years ahead of what the person that really resonates with what I have to say, that you want to embody, okay? So staying on topic, I am in that return, and I had to really break through the stuff that we're going to discuss today in that. So these stages really help to shape your personal hero's journey and provide you with a roadmap for your own personal, spiritual, and business development and growth, okay? So let's talk about how you can apply this journey to your own, all right? So you know deep down that you came here to for a greater purpose. You came here to build not only an empire, but a legacy as well. And you, as the soulpreneur, the light warrior, you're the hero in your own journey. And of course, you're going to face those challenges and the obstacles along the way. And the whole point is to emerge into a greater version of yourself. So going through these different stages as the call to adventure, the meeting with the mentor, the trials and the test, can all be related to your experience. And I really want to know, definitely send me a DM, tag me in this, share this podcast out, tag me, but let me know where you're at on your journey, your specific hero's journey, okay? And really start to analyze, are you trapped in that trials and test period, okay? So by understanding your own hero's journey and applying it to your own, you can start to gain insight into your own personal growth and development, your spiritual development, your business development, and this will help you start to break out of that trials and test period and achieve the success that you need in building the empire. All right, so with all of that said, we're going to start really breaking it down into overcoming the limiting beliefs. And right now I'm a little past 30 minutes, so we're going to get into as much information as possible. This may even be a two-parter. I think I may just make it a two-parter because it's a lot of fucking information, but I want to give this like something my soul is saying, you got to give this information. So I'm definitely going to do that. So stay tuned. This may be a two-parter, but let's dive into it, okay? We're going to talk about overcoming the limiting beliefs. To overcome the limiting beliefs, you first got to really know what limiting beliefs are. And they are those negative thoughts and belief patterns that really hold us back from reaching our full potential. And the limiting beliefs really they don't really start. They start within the subconscious. And they limit our ability to see possibilities. They make us believe that we can't achieve our goals, and they keep us stuck in our comfort zone. I like to give the example of the secretary, okay? The secretary that sits in between your conscious and your subconscious. And no one has checked in with this secretary pretty much their whole entire life. And the secretary has been taking notes from everybody on the outside, and the negative ones especially, and has been feeding you shitty memos when good things come in your life. So we get into this self-sabotaging behavior, and those crappy ass memos really say that you're not good enough, that you'll never be successful, you're not smart enough, that you don't have what it takes. And you get into people pleasing, you get into the comparison, and all these really lower vibrational thought patterns that didn't come from you. It comes from, your parents, the education system, the bully on the playground that told you that you were ugly, those type of things. That's that secretary that is like, oh, that's a good note. I'm going to write that one down and save it for later. Let's Xerox copy that so we have extras on hand just in case we need them. That is that shitty ass secretary that really needs to be fired. I fired that bitch a long ass time ago. And we're going to talk about ways on how to get another person in and train that person to give you better results, okay? Better memos. We want better fucking memos. And I'm gonna definitely give you some techniques to overcoming that, but that's to give you a visual example of what limiting beliefs are and what's really happening in your head. So when they do come to your awareness, just start saying, nope, I don't like what you're saying to me. Check in with whoever the secretary is and fire it, okay? Because limiting beliefs have a significant impact on your life and really can prevent you from pursuing your dreams and reaching your goals. And this includes building an empire as a soulpreneur. It is important to identify and challenge them. You have to challenge them so that you can overcome them and achieve. So let's unpack a little bit on how they can hold you back, okay? Because it's important that we know what limiting beliefs are, but it's also important that we know how they hold you back, okay? So when you're going through your journey, if these limiting beliefs start to come up, you may start to believe that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy enough to be successful, to have an online empire, to really believe in yourself that you can do it. And if you are not aware of them, they can prevent you from taking action, all right? And pursuing opportunities and really stepping outside of your comfort zone. Limiting beliefs can also cause feelings of self-doubt, that fear, which is false expectations appearing real, and insecurities inside that ultimately make it difficult for you to really stand in your power and push forward in overcoming these obstacles when it comes to building a business. All right, guys? So they may give up. You may experience giving up on your goals too easy. Avoid taking risks that could lead to greater success. Developing more opportunities, connecting with others, and really moving forward within your own journey. But by overcoming limiting beliefs, you, as the soulpreneur, can gain more confidence and clarity and motivation that will really push you forward to achieving your goals and building a solid foundation and a successful empire so that you can build a legacy, guys. Like, I am a legacy builder. I want to teach you how to build a legacy, not just a business. All right. So let's talk about the techniques for identifying and overcoming limiting beliefs. Let's first identify. And these steps are very important because I listed them in a way that you really need to focus on so that you can it helps you with the other steps that we're going to be discussing later on in this podcast. So some of the techniques for identifying and overcoming limiting beliefs include the very first one, which is awareness. And awareness is so important for your spiritual journey, your personal development journey, and your business. It's like one of the foundational embodiments that we teach inside of Rise University. And the awareness comes in, it is the first step for you to become aware of your limiting beliefs. And this can be done through self-reflection, journaling, mindfulness, through the Mystery School section inside of Rise University. We go over esoteric exercises to help you start to bring this awareness to the things. Because if you don't know what's playing in your mind, that's where it all stems from. If you're not aware of your secretary and the shitty memos that she is sending you, you're going to ultimately cock block yourself, and it's going to prevent or delay you from moving further on in your journey. So even in human design, because we do talk about human design inside of Rise University, I feel that awareness should be the first tool that you have before you even break into your human design. Because when you enter into your experiment, you have to be aware of what is happening in the moment for you to recognize that you are in an experiment and that things are, what human design tells you about yourself that you really you do. It's the differentiation between the not self theme and your true self, who you are not, the shadow aspect of yourself and your soul aspect of yourself. If you do not have awareness, you're not going to be able to recognize these things. And to do that, it is done through self-reflecting, mindfulness, journaling, and really working with a coach to help you embody this. Now, once you have the awareness, the second step is the challenge. You really start to identify and bring out, so that you can see it. And with journaling, you can see it in black and white, what your limiting beliefs are, and really start to challenge them. Because when you start to challenge them, guys, this is where you're going to ask yourself if they're true and what evidence you have to support them. This is where you're going to find out when Bobby on the playground said that you were ugly or whatever, and just, was just being a nasty person, has stayed with you your whole entire life, and oh my God, has cock blocked you from getting into relationships, and you're stuck into this comparison zone because you think you're ugly, where deep down Bobby was just full of bullshit and was being a mean, ugly bully. It's that type of things, guys. Like, it is so true that when we are younger, the first 7 years of your life are the most important. They stick with us. That information that is around us as a child, however your upbringing was. And if you are a light warrior, most likely you didn't have an easy upbringing. These are things that you are having to break through. So when you start to challenge that and ask yourself if they're true and what evidence you have to support them, then you can go into the next stage, which is reframing those limiting beliefs into positive, empowering belief systems. Okay. So for example, instead of thinking that I'm not good enough, we can reframe that into I have the potential to be great and I am continuously growing. We do this by neurolinguistics programming, tapping, and other very, very beneficial ways to help you break through that. But if you don't have the awareness, first off, if you don't have the awareness and you're not ready to challenge that belief system, then it's going to be really hard for you to start to reframe those different phrases that you have inside of you. Now, the next step is to really surround yourself with positivity. When you really start to do the work and go through the awareness, the challenge, and the reframe, the surrounding yourself is going to become more apparent. You're going to stop resonating with the people that you were normally hanging out with you because most likely they were the ones helping you stay stuck. I have had this realization with friends of mine from the past that I really don't resonate with that much anymore. That the only reason they had me around was because my life looked shitty and their life looked good in comparison. And I will be 100% honest about this. But if you are not surrounding yourself with positivity, with people that are going to support you and encourage and inspire you, sorry for the dog barking, but if you are not surrounding yourself with that, then, it's going to drag you down. But if you are doing the first three, the awareness, the challenge, and the reframing, you will automatically start to quantum shift on the inside. And you'll start gaining that awareness of who is and who's not, and you will start to change that. Okay. Now, when I went through the reframing of the thoughts that were going in my mind, and I was reframing them into more positive affirmations, because after surrounding yourself with positivity, you're going to practice affirmations, and I'll touch on that in just a moment. I started posting positive stuff all around me, okay? Like even on my laptop, it's reprogram the mind. My desires are stronger than my fears. How do I do this? Journal, affirmations, success plan, meditation, gratitude. I have on my mirror in the morning in my bathroom, guys, it is positive affirmations. It is what I needed to really help me break out of that, those limiting beliefs, that crappy memos that the fucking secretary was passing to me. And I've gone through a couple of secretaries, and believe me, I'm on top of the one that's in my head right now too, because they sneaky little bitches sometimes. They don't, if you're not checking in, they get lax on their job. What can I say, But you've got to be on top of your game, and you really start to do this when you're doing these techniques for identifying and overcoming limiting beliefs. Now, let's talk about affirmations. Affirmations have been life-changing for me, and it's life-changing for a lot of people. The people that are really practicing affirmation and getting the benefits, guess what they're doing that the other ones are not doing by just diving in and saying affirmations? They're not doing the first 3 steps. They're not bringing the awareness of the crappy thoughts and the memos that are playing in their head. They're not doing that self-reflecting. They're not journaling. They're not working with a coach or a mentor. They're not challenging those belief systems. Most of them don't even want to change their belief systems, okay? That's all right. That's where they get stuck in the cognitive dissonance. But, that it's when you're going down this path, it takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength, and a lot of personal accountability to want to look at oneself to really start to challenge. Wherever you're at on your journey, you're quite all right. But for me, I wanted to break through that. I really started to challenge everything. So cognitive dissonance, and that's where the cognitive dissonance really settles in, is through the challenge, and you'll know what it is. It's where it's like a fucking train wreck happens in your head, and it's like clashing, and you're like, no, I don't believe in what this is saying. It's okay. Take a step back. And I've always asked higher guidance, my spiritual team. It's important that you really start to work with them. But I have always asked them to, help bring clarity on whatever it is that I am challenging at the moment. What is it that I need to do to break through? And that will start to shift for you, okay? And then I really started to work on reframing through my mentors that have taught me how to do neurolinguistics programming and tapping. So this is why positive affirmations work for certain people and they don't for other people, because it is important to do those 3 fundamental things to really integrate the power of affirmations. Now, the next phase is visualization. Now, all of these are actual steps to really help you work with the law of attraction, which I'm not even going to get into in this episode, but we really go deep inside of Rise University, not only just that universal law, but we talk about several other universal laws, because it's important that you know the container of what you're living in and how it operates. But visualization is life-changing. Okay. Now, if you're breaking through these limiting beliefs, it may be hard for you to start to visualize yourself as successful or confident. But the more that you are practicing these fundamental steps and surrounding yourself with positivity and the affirmations, you can start to see yourself as successful. You can start to see yourself as confident. And when you do, you'll start to imagine that success that you want to achieve. And I do a lot of meditations inside of Rise University. Guided meditations. I have a defined head center, so guided meditations really help me. For those who have an undefined head center, or undefined in the top, it may be easier. You may not have that problem of meditating or having that visualization. But guided meditations and the visualizations have really started to help me manifest the certain things that I have in my life now. Visualization is one of the things that really helped me overcome that part in the hero's journey where I was going through the trial and the test. Okay. So visualizations can come in the form of guided meditations, just really practicing with your, oh God, what's the word that I am looking for? Your imagination, those types of things. So after with the visualization, taking action. You have got to take action, guys. You've got to put one foot in front of the other. You've got to do something to help you step out of your comfort zone and pursue your goals. And taking action comes into the form of really challenging yourself. So it's wherever it is, wherever you are on your journey, definitely take action. Do something to help you gain that step closer to what it is that you are achieving or you want to achieve within your business. So by really using these techniques as a soulpreneur, you can start to identify and overcome your limiting beliefs and start achieving greater success and really setting those foundational bricks to building your empire that will help you leave a legacy. Now, inside of Rise University, I really help you do this through human design, neurolinguistics programming, mindfulness, esoteric wisdom, and more. It's not just one thing. These are all things that I offer you a array of different things that you will resonate with to help you embody. Again, it's not tools, guys. I really want to get out of this term of tools because you just pick it up when you need it. These are when you start to embody these techniques, that's where things really start to change. Okay, so we're going to go into, this is going to definitely be a two-parter because I want to touch on, in this episode, part 1, I want to touch on imposter syndrome. This is something that trial and test thing that I really, really got stuck in was the imposter syndrome. And there was, I love Rachel Bell. If you don't know who Rachel Bell is, she has retired, but she had an online coaching program called the Online Coach Accelerator, I believe is OCA. And she had a podcast and it was about imposter syndrome. And one of the lines that she said, and I don't think she remembered where she got it from either, but if you are struggling, here's the greatest thing that will bring you so much joy when you find this out. If you are struggling from imposter syndrome, well, guess what? You're not an imposter, because those who are an imposter, they don't think about this shit. Just like the narcissist doesn't think that it's the narcissist. So if you are struggling with imposter syndrome, and we're going to go over what that is here in a moment, the good news is that you're not an imposter. So the imposter refers to the feeling of self-doubt and insecurity that many, I think every successful person on one point in their journey, and they may encounter again, has experienced, okay? It is a feeling of self-doubt and insecurity. Despite whatever it is that they're achieving in their life. And it is a belief that one is a fraud, that you are a fraud, and that your success is either due to luck, to timing, deception, and you may not even get to the point where you're successful. I didn't get to a point to where I was successful because I kept cock blocking myself, because I kept thinking, oh my God, someone's going to think that I'm a fraud. Someone's going to call me out and I'm not ready. And this person's got more information. And there became a period of time, guys, where I was sitting in all the, like, I got stuck in the learning without applying what I was learning. I was going from this mentor to the next mentor to that mentor. And I realized that when I was doing that, oh my God, like these mentors are starting to get information off of me, and I already know this information. So I had to, imposter syndrome is a huge one that I had to work from, but it's where you really start to doubt your own abilities and all the hard work that you have put into your own story. It is your own story, guys. So imposter syndrome really comes from people who are high achievers. They're people pleasers, and they don't think that they are good enough, or that they're ultimately, somewhere along their journey, they're going to be found out as a fraud. And it cockblocks you. It leads to self-sabotage, fear of failure, and really you'll get in that struggle period between the trials and the test of, you stepping into the greatest version of yourself, and you really pursuing and accomplishing your goals and building your empire. So it is important for the soulpreneur to really understand and recognize that imposter syndrome, you can overcome it, and you can achieve and reach your full potential. But you need to start to recognize and challenge that negative self-talk that we talked about before, and seeking out the support and the encouragement by surrounding yourself. This is why it was so important. We talked about the techniques before, but surrounding yourself with people that are going to be real with you and support you and be honest and tell you that you have a lot to offer to the world, because you do. But if you get stuck in that imposter syndrome, then it's going to be really hard for you to go to the next phase in your journey, and you'll be in that trials and test period for quite some time. So really, really important that we do bring to that awareness, and you start to challenge that negative self-talk, and you start to surround yourself with people who are going to support you. So some of the common symptoms that people will experience through imposter syndrome is that, it can manifest in a variety of ways, but some of them include the fear of failure, fear of failure, and that is the belief that one will eventually be found out as a fraud, which can lead to the fear coming in, the false expectations appearing real, and the avoidance of taking those risks. Now, the next one is perfectionism. I'm huge into perfectionism. And perfectionism, guys, is just another form of procrastination. And that is the desire that everything needs to be absolutely perfect, because if it's not blah, 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 if it's not absolutely perfect, someone's going to point it out. Someone's not going to like it. They're going to call me out as a fraud. That person can't do that right. And it's going to lead to unrealistic expectations and a lot of self-criticism, okay? The next one is the self-doubt, constantly doubting one's abilities and achievements and success. That can be a sign of an imposter syndrome, okay? The next one is difficulty accepting compliments. All right, I have a hard time. It's something I've had to work with, and I'm still working on, guys. It's not, I'm not 100% cured. I'm still going through this healing journey as well, but difficulty accepting compliments and downplaying someone else's compliments. So when you get that positive feedback, you really don't believe that it is true. Those are things that really need to come up to the surface to work on, okay? And really start to break through. And remember, that all goes in with the techniques that I broke down for you in overcoming limiting beliefs. So the next one after, difficulty accepting compliments is the lack of confidence. Okay. Stepping into your confidence, that's that feeling of unworthiness and lacking, you don't believe that you yourself are you're capable of achieving all the goals you set out for yourself. All the stuff that you really want to embody. Confidence, that vibration, people will be attracted to it. But believe me, if you're not standing in your confidence, others will pick up on it. So it is important that we do really work on our confidence so that we don't have these unworthy feelings. And the feelings of unworthiness is something that we're really going to dive into. Not this episode, but part 2, because I'm definitely going to wrap it up after this imposter syndrome section. After the lack of confidence, it's the constant self-criticism. That's that shitty ass secretary that is sitting in your head that you haven't checked in with, that is really playing into that self-criticism. And that's the negative self-talk that, you're an imposter, no one's going to like you, you don't have all the information, someone's going to find you out, you don't know what it is that you're talking about. Like, all that internal dialogue that just needs to go away is a symptom of imposter syndrome. So these are things that we really need to tackle. These are just some of the common symptoms: the fear of failure, the perfectionism, the self-doubt, the difficulty of accepting compliments, the lack of confidence, and the constant self-criticism really needs to go out. We need to get that out of our etheric field. We really need to reframe those thought patterns that are happening in our head. Okay, once you do that, you can start to take steps to overcoming this imposter syndrome. And remember, if you're the one that's struggling with this, the good news is that you are not an imposter, because imposters don't struggle with this type of thing. All right, so it's important that you recognize and pat yourself on the back, because if you are, kudos to you. You are in alignment. You're not an imposter. And we can definitely help you build that confidence that you need to achieve your goals so that you can start to build an empire. Now, let's dive into the strategies, and then we're definitely going to wrap up this part, and we'll do part 2 next week, because I've got a couple of other different things to bring to you. So lots of information coming through this morning, guys. And I do hope you found this beneficial to you in your journey. But we'll wrap it up here in a moment. Let's stay on track with the imposter syndrome, because it's a big one. And let's talk about overcoming the strategies. I want to give you strategies for overcoming. Okay. Now, it is a process. This is not something you're going to get right away. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. And you will start to recognize that as we go through this podcast, these episodes, that a lot of this is repeat. It's redundant, but it's important that I do repeat it so that it does start to you start to bring it, take it in, and start to apply it within your life. So number 1 with overcoming imposter syndrome is going back to recognizing and challenging that negative self-talk. It is becoming aware of it. All right. If you are not aware of what the hell is playing in your mind, what that bitch of a secretary is feeding you through those crappy ass memos that she's been feeding you through your whole entire life up until this point in this journey of you actually bringing the awareness. And believe me, she's probably sitting at her desk right now, scared shitless. But that's all right. Make her scared shitless, because she has been instilling fear in you your whole life. But once you start to bring awareness to that, you can reframe those thoughts into a positive and empowering that's going to help you achieve your goals. Now, one of the other strategies that you can use for overcoming imposter syndrome is start to focus on your strengths. Don't focus on what it is that you don't have. Focus on what your strengths and what you bring to the table, okay? What are your accomplishments? What progress have you made? Rather than focusing on what your weaknesses or your failures are, or the comparison zone with the other person. Start to focus on the positive things you bring to the table, the accomplishments that you have made, rather than the negative stuff, okay? The next one is seeking support. Again, the people you surround yourself with are going to play a big fucking part in your journey. If you are not surrounding yourself with people who really want to succeed and take their journey seriously, believe me, it will play a huge thing. You will start to notice what happens when you don't, when you're not surrounding yourself with people that are going to encourage your journey. The next one is practice self-care. Now, I am a self-care junkie. I love self-care. It is so important. There are so many different things that you can do with self-care. I actually have a whole video and class on over 20 something different ways to practice self-care, in case you don't know what that is. But some of the ways that you can practice self-care is exercising, meditating, self-reflecting, journaling, taking spiritual baths, tapping into your divine feminine, tapping into your divine masculine. Those type of things will help you really start to build confidence and resilience through this process of you building your empire, okay? So self-care is so important. And you're going to use self-care through a multitude of different things through your journey of building your empire. Now, the next thing is really celebrating your success. Start to celebrate your success, no matter how small it is. Even the big ones, but those small steps, like if you have you have something on your to-do list and you really want to get it done by the end of the week. If you successfully completed that, fucking celebrate it. All right. You did it. You did more than what most people are doing out there. And that's the fucking reality of this journey. When we start getting into this imposter syndrome, believe me, especially if you're going through the perfectionism, you're doing a hell of a lot more than the person that you are worried about that is going to find you out of being an imposter. Okay? That's the reality of it. So really start to celebrate the successes that you have within your life and all the hard work and the dedication. That dedication, man, I'm going to do a whole different podcast on, each letter in the alphabet holds a spiritual meaning and a specific vibration. And Rise University really covers the D's, and dedication is one of them. I love the vibration of the letter D. Get you some D. But I'm gonna do a separate podcast on that. See how I get sidetracked, guys? This is why I'm making those notes, so I can stay on track. But separate one, but it does take dedication. And if you are suiting up and showing up and you are really wanting to step into a greater version of yourself and build a lasting empire that's going to leave a legacy, that requires dedication, and you are doing it. So make sure that you celebrate yourself on that today. Especially if you haven't done that in a long time, I want you to do that today. Make sure that you celebrate yourself. So the next one is going to be embracing failure. Now, failure is a lesson learned. Success is a lesson learned applied. This is why it's important when you're going through this hero's journey. Everything happens for a reason. If you're going to beat yourself up for not being where you think you should be, please know that happened for a specific reason. Okay, I wanted to make sure that I was still recording because I didn't see the numbers moving. That's why there was a pause there. But just know that everything that has happened to me through this journey has been a learning lesson. And I could have looked at it as failure, but I didn't. I embraced the failure as a learning opportunity rather than it being a sign of me failing and beating myself up, okay? You learn from your mistakes. You keep moving. And remember what I said at the beginning. Failure is a lesson learned. Success is a lesson learned applied. For you to have success, you're going to have to do the trial and error process. You're not going to get it all. I have not met one person on my journey who has had an awakening and they downloaded the entire mission manual of how they are supposed to package all this stuff together and stepped into their calling with no problems. If you know somebody, please tag them. I'd love to interview them in a show, but I have yet to meet one, because if you are a true light warrior, guess what? You have a lot of shit to overcome. All right? One of them may be imposter syndrome. So if you can really resonate with these steps of, the getting stuck in the fear of failure, the perfectionism, the self-doubt, the difficulty accepting the compliments, the lack of confidence, the constant self-criticism, and start to apply recognizing and challenging that self-talk, focusing on your strengths, seeking support, practicing the self-care, celebrating your successes, and embracing failures, well, guys, you're going to get stuck. Okay? So, by implementing these strategies, you as the hero in your own journey, as the soulpreneur, can overcome this imposter syndrome and start to build the confidence and the resilience needed to achieve your goal in this empire. So right there, we're going to go ahead and stop, and I'm going to wrap up part 1. In this part, what we did cover was understanding the hero's journey, what the stages were, and how it applies to you as the light warrior and the soulpreneur. We overcame limiting beliefs, understanding what limiting beliefs were, how limiting beliefs can hold you back on your journey, and I gave you some techniques to overcome them. And we really dove deep and unpacked what imposter syndrome is, what the common symptoms were, and I also gave you some strategies for overcoming them. Now, next week, what we're going to be covering is your money blocks, what money blocks are, common money blocks that you may be going through, and techniques to help you overcome them. We're going to talk about worthiness, which is a huge one for me as well. Same with the money blocks. All these were huge ones for me, guys. So believe me, when I say I understand what you're going through, I understand what it is that you are going through. But we're going to talk about understanding what worthiness is, how worthiness can impact your success as a soulpreneur, and techniques. We're going to talk about the importance of mentorship, why it's important to seek out a mentor or a place to help you learn and grow, and how to find the right mentor for your needs, and what the benefits of having a mentor are. And we're going to talk about steps to success and building a strong foundation. So like I said at the beginning of this was a lot of freaking information coming to you. I know your hand, if you've been taking notes, is probably like, oh my God, this is a book. But believe me, what I'm going to do is take these PDFs that the notes that I am typing up prior to the show to really help me stay on track. I am going to include them with inside Rooted Publishing House, which is the blog. from Rise University. Each of these podcasts are released on the blog, so I will make sure to include the PDFs so that you can have some more notes to see what's, helps me stay in alignment and bring all this information to you. But definitely make sure that you are taking notes as well, because that will help you retain and remember the information as well. So thank you, everybody who did join today. I really do appreciate it, and I would love to hear your feedback on that. On this show, the other shows, I really want to bring you a lot of information to provide you with transformational value, all right? And I really hope you enjoyed the discussion that we had about the hero's journey for the soulpreneur and how to overcome the limitations and achieve success. So please make sure that you take a moment to either leave us a review, a rating, like this podcast. Again, I would love to have your feedback and help us reach more listeners and different ways to improve the show. The feedback, again, is so beneficial to me. I want to make sure that I am impacting you, because I'm a manifester. I'm impacting you to really start to go out there and claim your empire and go through your own hero's journey. All right? So stay tuned for next week, where we're going to be going over part 2 of the hero's journey for soulpreneurs. And as always, I got to say it again, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow the show so that you can stay up to date to future episodes. And again, if you found value in this, make sure that you share this information out. With that said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful and beautiful Wednesday. I'm sending you so much love, and I can't wait to see you on the next show. Bye now. Have a wonderful and beautiful, blessed day.